Anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025, effects on agriculture, transportation and manufacturing sectors amidst rising international security dynamics. Introduction. As we approach the first quarter of 2025, there is a growing anticipation of a significant 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling activities, particularly between the United States and Mexico. This shift is expected to have profound implications across various sectors, specifically agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing, all of which are intricately linked to cross-border trade dynamics. The projected decrease comes at a time when international security measures are tightening and the regulatory landscape is rapidly evolving, creating both challenges and opportunities for these industries. 1. Overview of cross-border smuggling and economic impact. Cross-border smuggling has long posed challenges to national economies, particularly in sectors reliant on the fluid movement of goods. According to a report from C.H. Robinson, the financial pressures facing cross-border transportation have been exacerbated by increased operating costs. In 2024, these costs surged by approximately 20%, attributed to rising fuel prices and enhanced security measures against cargo theft. As we look forward to 2025, logistics providers are bracing for another challenging year, with the anticipated decrease in smuggling potentially affecting freight volumes and operational efficiency. Furthermore, the introduction of digital driver's licenses in Mexico is expected to complicate logistics. Although aimed at modernizing the system, shippers still require physical licenses for compliance, which may lead to delays and inefficiencies at border crossings. 2. Security and compliance dynamics. The evolving landscape of global trade compliance is heavily influenced by increased enforcement actions and regulatory changes. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) is taking a proactive stance in preventing threats to agriculture and ensuring compliance with stringent regulations. The focus on intercepting invasive species and combating agroterrorism highlights the critical role of biosecurity measures in safeguarding U.S. agriculture. As countries adapt to new security measures, businesses will need to enhance their compliance processes. Descartes emphasizes the need for organizations to stay ahead of regulatory changes, particularly those related to trade compliance, which could impact cross-border operations. 3. Sector-specific implications. Agriculture. The agricultural sector stands to be significantly affected by the anticipated decrease in cross-border smuggling. The CBP's efforts to intercept invasive species and agricultural threats are paramount. With increased scrutiny on agricultural imports, compliance with inspection regulations will be critical to prevent pests and diseases that could threaten domestic crops. This shift may lead to heightened costs for farmers and agricultural businesses as they enhance their compliance practices. Transportation. The transportation industry is likely to face a slow start in Q1 2025, compounded by seasonal factors such as winter weather and staffing shortages. C.H. Robinson notes that the combination of reduced freight volumes due to tariff concerns and the expected decrease in smuggling could lead to significant challenges for carriers. This decrease in cross-border activity may result in a surplus of capacity, forcing companies to navigate a complex landscape of cost control and operational efficiency. Manufacturing. In the manufacturing sector, there are mixed sentiments about the impact of decreased smuggling. The American Chamber of Commerce anticipates that while tariff threats may pose short-term financial challenges, increased U.S. demand for locally sourced components, especially from Mexico, could bolster exports. As companies seek to integrate more closely with global supply chains, particularly in the automotive sector, the shift could yield positive outcomes for manufacturers that adapt quickly to the changing landscape. 4. Common key points. Several themes recur across various analyses of the anticipated decrease in smuggling. Rising operational costs. Both transportation and manufacturing sectors are grappling with soaring operating costs, primarily driven by external pressures such as fuel prices and regulatory compliance. Increased scrutiny in trade compliance. With evolving security measures, businesses must adapt to new regulatory landscapes. Ensuring adherence to compliance protocols. Opportunities for U.S.-Mexico trade. The anticipated economic shift may present new opportunities for trade relations, particularly in sectors like automotive manufacturing, where companies may look to reduce reliance on distant suppliers. 5. Differences between sources. While C.H. Robinson centers on the operational challenges faced by logistics and transportation providers, Descartes highlights the regulatory landscape and the implications for trade compliance. The CBP report underscores the agricultural threats and the necessity of biosecurity measures, demonstrating the multifaceted nature of how smuggling impacts different sectors. 6. Timeline of events. 2024. Cross-border carriers experience significant increases in operating costs and enforcement actions related to global trade compliance. Q1 2025, a projected 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling is expected to create ripple effects across agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. With an ongoing focus on compliance and operational adjustments in response to heightened security dynamics. Conclusion. The anticipated decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 presents both challenges and opportunities for the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. While the operational landscape may become more complex due to rising costs and compliance requirements, there is also the potential for strengthened trade relations, particularly between the U.S. and Mexico. Organizations that proactively address these changes and adapt their strategies accordingly will be better positioned to thrive in the evolving global trade environment. As international security dynamics continue to shift, the ability to navigate compliance and operational challenges will be crucial for maintaining competitiveness in these interconnected sectors. The anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 presents a complex landscape for the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. This shift is poised to challenge traditional operational paradigms while simultaneously unveiling counterintuitive opportunities and responses to evolving international security dynamics. 1. Economic pressure and operational costs. The rising operational costs due to increased fuel prices and security measures are a consistent theme across sectors. However, this anticipated decrease in smuggling, while ostensibly beneficial in reducing illegal trade, may paradoxically exacerbate financial strains on transportation networks. As carriers prepare for a decline in illicit freight, they may face reduced volumes of legitimate shipments as well, leading to underutilization of transport capacity. 2. Regulatory compliance and trade dynamics. The tightening of regulations by agencies like the U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) reflects an increased focus on compliance in the face of potential threats to agriculture. Interestingly, while enhanced scrutiny aims to protect U.S. agriculture from invasive species, it may inadvertently disrupt legitimate trade flows, creating bottlenecks and delays. This is counterintuitive, as one might expect increased security to streamline operations. However, the reality is often increased friction in trade processes. 3. Sector-specific implications. Agriculture. The emphasis on preventing agro-terrorism and intercepting invasive species may lead to heightened inspection protocols. While this aims to protect U.S. agriculture, it risks alienating legitimate importers who may struggle with compliance. Thus, the very measures designed to safeguard agriculture could lead to unintended consequences, such as increased costs for consumers and reduced availability of imported goods. Transportation. The transportation sector is bracing for a potential decrease in freight volumes due to increased compliance burdens and seasonal challenges. While a decrease in smuggling might suggest less illicit activity, it could parallel a downturn in legitimate trade, leading to an overall contraction in transportation demand. This counterintuitive relationship highlights that not all reductions in illegal activity correlate with positive economic outcomes. Manufacturing. The American Chamber of Commerce notes a potential shift towards deeper integration of U.S.-Mexico trade, particularly in the automotive sector. However, as companies pivot to source components closer to home, they may overlook the complexities of shifting supply chains. This transition could lead to logistical challenges and increased costs, undermining the anticipated benefits of reduced smuggling. 4. Market dynamics and compliance challenges. The interplay between rising operational costs and regulatory compliance is another area of counterintuitive dynamics. Businesses may find themselves investing heavily in compliance technologies and training to meet stringent regulations. Yet, this investment could yield diminishing returns if trade volumes decline due to market uncertainties. The expectation that compliance will lead to smoother operations is challenged by the reality that increased scrutiny often results in unanticipated delays and complications. 5. Geopolitical considerations. Geopolitical tensions introduce additional layers of complexity. As international relations evolve, the landscape of trade compliance will shift, potentially leading to further regulatory changes. Companies may find themselves navigating a maze of compliance requirements that are not only based on domestic laws but also influenced by international relations. The expectation that a decrease in smuggling will lead to a more stable environment is countered by the potential for increased geopolitical friction, creating uncertainty for businesses reliant on cross-border trade. 6. Strategic adaptations. Businesses are expected to adapt by leveraging advanced technologies and streamlining compliance processes. However, the notion that technology alone will mitigate compliance challenges is often an oversimplification. Companies may face a steep learning curve in integrating new technologies with existing operations, leading to temporary disruptions that counteract the intended efficiencies. This highlights the counterintuitive nature of relying solely on technology as a panacea for compliance issues. 7. Future outlook. As organizations prepare for the anticipated decrease in cross-border smuggling, the reality is that the interplay between security measures, compliance, and market dynamics will create a complex framework for decision-making. The expectation that a reduction in illegal trade will lead to straightforward benefits is complicated by the potential for reduced legitimate trade volumes, increased operational challenges, and evolving regulatory landscapes. Conclusion. In summary, while the anticipated decrease in cross-border smuggling may present opportunities for strengthening trade relations and compliance strategies, it is imperative to recognize the counterintuitive nature of these developments. Businesses must navigate a landscape fraught with operational challenges, regulatory complexities, and geopolitical uncertainties where the expectation of straightforward benefits from reduced smuggling is far from guaranteed. The intricate dynamics at play necessitate a nuanced understanding of the interdependencies between smuggling, trade compliance, and market conditions, highlighting the importance of strategic adaptability in an ever-evolving global trade environment. The anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 is expected to have profound implications on the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors, particularly in light of rising international security dynamics. While many people may focus on the direct effects of this decrease, there are several nuanced aspects of the report that are likely to be overlooked but are critical for understanding the broader implications of these changes. 1. The interplay between smuggling and regulatory compliance. One of the most significant yet often overlooked aspects is the intricate relationship between cross-border smuggling and regulatory compliance. As highlighted in the Descartes report, the increased enforcement actions and regulatory changes are reshaping how companies manage their cross-border operations. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) is intensifying efforts to prevent not only smuggling but also the introduction of invasive species and agro-terrorism, which can have severe repercussions for U.S. agriculture. Significance: the focus on compliance amidst decreasing smuggling rates underscores a shift in operational priorities for companies. Businesses that previously relied on informal or illegal channels may struggle to adapt to stricter regulations, which could lead to increased operational costs and potential disruptions in supply chains. Moreover, this shift may also prompt companies to invest in technology and processes that ensure compliance, thereby altering competitive dynamics in affected sectors. 2. Seasonal factors and transportation challenges. The report from C.H. Robinson indicates that seasonal factors such as winter weather and holiday staffing shortages will challenge the transportation sector in Q1 2025, particularly in the context of a decrease in freight volumes due to tariff fears. However, the interaction between these seasonal challenges and the smuggling decrease is often overlooked. Significance: as smuggling decreases, transportation companies may find themselves with reduced freight volumes, exacerbating the challenges posed by seasonal factors. This could lead to a vicious cycle where reduced freight volumes cause carriers to scale back operations, which in turn can lead to higher costs and service disruptions. Understanding this interplay is crucial for logistics companies as they navigate potential downturns in demand while managing operational costs. 3. The long-term impact on agriculture biosecurity. While the immediate focus of CBP's efforts is on intercepting invasive species and agricultural threats, the long-term implications for agriculture biosecurity are significant yet often understated. The anticipated smuggling decrease could lead to better control over what enters the U.S. agricultural landscape, but it could also inadvertently create complacency among growers and regulators. Significance: if biosecurity threats are perceived to be lessened due to decreased smuggling, there may be a decline in vigilance and investment in biosecurity practices among agricultural producers. This complacency could backfire if new threats emerge, emphasizing the need for continuous investment in biosecurity measures regardless of smuggling trends. Furthermore, this could affect crop diversity and resilience if invasive species are not managed effectively over the long term. 4. Manufacturing sectors shift towards nearshoring. The American Chamber of Commerce notes that while tariff threats may impact short-term financials, the manufacturing sector, particularly in automotive components, could benefit from increased U.S. demand due to a shift towards nearshoring from Mexico. This trend may be overshadowed by concerns over tariffs and supply chain disruptions. Significance: the nearshoring trend could reshape supply chains significantly over the next few years. Manufacturing firms may leverage the anticipated decrease in smuggling to strengthen legitimate trade channels and reduce reliance on less formal supply chains. This shift could foster closer relationships between U.S. and Mexican manufacturers, creating a more integrated North American supply chain that enhances overall resilience and competitiveness in the global market. 5. The role of technology in compliance and security. The Descartes report emphasizes the importance of advanced technology in safeguarding trade compliance. As companies face increased scrutiny and regulatory demands, the integration of technology in compliance processes may be overlooked as merely a response to regulations. Significance: the push for technological adoption is not just about compliance, it represents a broader shift in how businesses operate across borders. By investing in technology, companies can streamline operations, enhance transparency, and improve their ability to respond to compliance issues. This can lead to a competitive advantage in a market where efficiency and adaptability are critical. Additionally, technological advancements may also facilitate better data sharing and cooperation between regulatory bodies and businesses, enhancing overall security and compliance. 6. Implications for labor dynamics in transportation. The report highlights staffing shortages in the transportation sector, particularly during the holiday season. However, the implications of a decrease in smuggling on labor dynamics are less frequently discussed. Significance: as smuggling decreases, there may be a shift in labor demand within the transportation sector. Companies might need to reassess their staffing strategies and training programs to prepare for a more regulated environment. The interplay between compliance requirements and labor availability could lead to a re-evaluation of recruitment practices, particularly as the industry seeks to attract and retain skilled workers in a competitive job market. Addressing these labor dynamics will be essential for maintaining service levels amidst fluctuating demand. Conclusion: The anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 presents challenges and opportunities that extend beyond immediate economic impacts. The relationships between smuggling, regulatory compliance, biosecurity, labor dynamics, and technological adoption reveal a complex landscape that requires careful navigation by businesses across agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. By recognizing these nuanced implications, stakeholders can better prepare for the evolving international security dynamics and leverage them for strategic advantage in the marketplace. 1. Economic impact of smuggling. Decrease on operational costs. The anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 is expected to significantly alleviate some of the financial pressures on the transportation sector, as highlighted by C.H. Robinson. As operating costs surged by approximately 20% in 2024 due to rising fuel prices, security measures, and other operational challenges, the decrease in smuggling could lead to reduced cargo theft and delays, thereby optimizing logistics and potentially lowering costs for carriers. However, the transition to digital driver's licenses in Mexico may introduce new complexities, requiring shippers to adapt quickly to maintain operational efficiency. This point fosters discussion on how shifts in smuggling activity can reshape financial dynamics within the logistics sector and the need for adaptive strategies as regulatory landscapes evolve. 2. Regulatory compliance and security dynamics in agriculture. The evolving landscape of global trade compliance is crucial, particularly for the agricultural sector. The increased scrutiny from U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) emphasizes the importance of biosecurity measures to prevent invasive species and agroterrorism. As CBP intensifies its focus on intercepting agricultural threats, the implications for agricultural imports and compliance processes become evident. This point invites an in-depth analysis of how agricultural stakeholders must navigate compliance challenges while ensuring that their supply chains remain resilient against emerging threats, fostering a discussion on the balance between security and trade efficiency. 3. Sector-specific forecasts and opportunities. The anticipated decrease in cross-border smuggling presents distinct implications for the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. For instance, while the transportation sector may experience reduced freight volumes due to tariff fears, the manufacturing sector may benefit from increased U.S. demand for Mexican exports as companies seek to localize supply chains. This duality in sector-specific forecasts prompts a discussion on how businesses can strategically position themselves to capitalize on emerging opportunities while managing the potential risks associated with regulatory compliance and operational adjustments in response to changing trade dynamics. 4. Technological integration for compliance and efficiency. The integration of advanced technology is increasingly critical for businesses to navigate the complex regulatory landscape and enhance trade compliance efforts. As highlighted by Descartes, the use of AI and machine learning can streamline trade compliance processes, improve denied party screening, and enhance the accuracy of export classifications. This technological shift raises important questions about how companies can leverage these innovations not only to meet compliance standards but also to enhance operational efficiency in a rapidly evolving global trade environment. Analyzing the role of technology in facilitating trade and compliance can lead to a broader discussion on the future of cross-border operations amidst rising international security dynamics. 1. The Prohibition Era, 1920 to 1933, United States. The Prohibition era in the United States serves as a historical case of an anticipated reduction in illegal activities leading to significant societal changes. The 18th Amendment, which prohibited the manufacture and sale of alcoholic beverages, led to a surge in underground alcohol production and distribution, commonly referred to as bootlegging. Enforcement efforts such as the establishment of the Volstead Act and the Bureau of Prohibition aimed to curb this illicit trade. Although the law intended to decrease alcohol consumption and related societal issues, it resulted in organized crime growth, significant corruption among law enforcement, and a public backlash that eventually led to the repeal of Prohibition in 1933. The anticipated decrease in illegal alcohol trade significantly affected various sectors including agriculture with the production of grains for alcohol transportation, smuggling routes and manufacturing illegal distilleries. 2. The War on Drugs 1980s present United States. The war on drugs initiated a significant crackdown on drug trafficking and smuggling across U.S. borders with profound impacts on various sectors, particularly agriculture, transportation, and law enforcement. The implementation of policies aimed at reducing drug smuggling has resulted in a notable decrease in the availability of certain illegal substances, impacting the drug market dynamics. The enforcement efforts by agencies like the DEA have led to increased security measures at borders and a shift in drug trafficking routes. While there was an initial anticipated reduction in drug-related activities, the unintended consequences included the rise of violent drug cartels, changes in agricultural practices in drug-producing countries, and significant financial burdens on the transportation sector due to heightened security measures. The war on drugs illustrates how efforts to decrease illegal activities can reshape entire industries and lead to complex socioeconomic outcomes. 3. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act 1930 United States. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, implemented during the Great Depression, raised tariffs on hundreds of imported goods in an effort to protect American industries. While the intention was to boost domestic manufacturing and agriculture by reducing foreign competition, the act led to retaliatory tariffs from other nations, resulting in a significant decrease in international trade. The anticipated benefits for the agriculture and manufacturing sectors were quickly overshadowed by a dramatic decrease in exports, an increase in prices for consumers, and further economic decline. The Act's implementation exemplifies how protective measures, while aimed at reducing external competition, can lead to unintended consequences affecting multiple sectors, including transportation, which faced reduced shipping volumes as trade fell. The aftermath of the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act contributed to global economic challenges and set the stage for future trade agreements to foster international cooperation. The anticipated 25% decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 is set to reshape the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors significantly. This prediction emerges within the context of heightened international security dynamics, regulatory changes, and evolving compliance requirements. Below are detailed predictions on how these sectors will adapt and evolve in response to these anticipated changes. Agriculture sector. The agricultural landscape will experience both challenges and opportunities. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) is intensifying efforts to prevent the introduction of invasive species and agroterrorism, which can severely impact domestic agriculture. As smuggling declines, the focus will shift to compliance with stricter biosecurity regulations. 1. Increased compliance costs. Farmers and agricultural businesses may face higher costs related to compliance with new inspection and reporting regulations. As enforcement intensifies, businesses will need to invest in systems to ensure their products meet these new standards. 2. Enhanced biosecurity measures. With a reduction in illegal imports, there may be a greater emphasis on biosecurity measures. This could lead to a more robust agricultural inspection framework, ensuring that only safe products enter the market. 3. Market opportunities. As domestic production is prioritized, there could be new opportunities for U.S. farmers to fill gaps left by previously smuggled goods. This might lead to increased demand for locally sourced produce, potentially boosting rural economies. Transportation sector. The transportation sector is poised to undergo significant changes as it adapts to the anticipated decrease in smuggling and the associated regulatory environment. 1. Operational adjustments. The logistics industry will need to recalibrate its operations in response to reduced freight volumes associated with smuggling. Companies might streamline their operations, focusing on efficiency and cost control to absorb the impact of rising operational costs. 2. Digital transformation. Investing in technology such as digital driver's licenses and tracking systems will become critical. The transition to digital systems aims to improve operational efficiency but may face initial hurdles, including the need for physical documentation during the changeover. 3. Impact of seasonal variability. The transportation sector will likely experience seasonal fluctuations in demand exacerbated by the decrease in smuggling. Companies may need to develop strategies to manage fluctuating freight volumes, particularly during high-demand seasons. Manufacturing sector. The manufacturing sector, particularly in relation to U.S.-Mexico trade, is expected to see both challenges and benefits stemming from the projected decrease in smuggling. 1. Increased domestic sourcing. Companies may pivot towards sourcing materials and components domestically or from nearby regions, particularly Mexico. This shift could be driven by efforts to reduce dependency on supply chains that have previously been vulnerable to smuggling and tariffs. 2. Regulatory compliance and innovation. Manufacturers will need to enhance their compliance strategies in light of new regulations and scrutiny. This may necessitate investment in compliance technologies and processes. But it could also drive innovation as manufacturers seek to streamline operations. 3. Trade dynamics. The anticipated decrease in smuggling could lead to a more stable trade environment between the U.S. and Mexico. A focus on legal imports may foster stronger trade relations, particularly in the automotive and electronics sectors where supply chain integration is critical. Common themes across sectors. 1. Rising operational costs. Across agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing, the common theme of rising operational costs will necessitate strategic adjustments. Companies will need to find ways to manage these costs while maintaining compliance with new regulations. 2. Focus on compliance and risk management. Enhanced regulatory scrutiny will compel businesses to invest in compliance frameworks, including training and technology to mitigate risks associated with non-compliance and potential penalties. 3. Opportunities for growth. While challenges abound, the anticipated decrease in smuggling presents opportunities for growth in legal supply chains. Businesses that adapt to these changes proactively may find new markets and customer bases. Conclusion. The predicted decrease in cross-border smuggling by Q1 2025 will have far-reaching implications for the agriculture, transportation, and manufacturing sectors. While challenges related to compliance, operational costs, and market dynamics will arise, there are also significant opportunities for growth and innovation. Companies that embrace these changes and invest in technology, compliance, and efficient operations will be well positioned to thrive in the evolving landscape shaped by rising international security dynamics.